Welcome to the Trojan Windup. I'm your host, AJ Lawrence, and I'm going to give you the rundown on what went down in Week 5 of USC's baseball season. After a huge weekend at the Dodger Stadium Classic, there was no time for rest as the Trojans headed down to Irvine to face the Anteaters. Even with the slow start for UCI, you knew it was going to be a tough matchup. Coach Mike Gillespie always manages to put up his best against his alma mater, USC. The Anteaters jumped on the Trojans right away, stringing together a walk and 4 singles in the third to put up a quick 4 runs on the board. Irvine manufactured another run in the second, increasing their lead to 5-0, and they never looked back. The Trojans put up a run in the third as Garrett Stubbs scored on a single by Timmy Robinson. Then in the sixth, USC got 1-out walks from Dante Flores and Blake Lacey. A routine grounder to second looked like a double play ball, but Irvine airmailed the throw to short, and the Trojans had another run. USC fans were hoping the Trojans would turn it into a big inning, but UCI got the next 2 batters, leaving the score at 5-2. The Anteaters got the run back in their half of the 6th on a suicide squeeze, and that was it for the scoring, as UCI handed the Trojans their second loss of the year, 6-2. Pitcher Bernardo Flores was outstanding in relief, giving up just 1 hit and 1 walk in 3 1/3 innings of work, all while striking out 5. Friday, the Trojans were back at home to start conference play against the Washington State Cougars. The Cougars came in with an 11-5 record and were on a 5-game winning streak. But the Trojans, they had Brent Wheatley on the mound. Washington State started the game off with 2 singles. Wheatley struck out the next batter. Then the Trojans got a little help from left fielder Bobby Stahl. A run came in on the play and the Trojans trailed 1-0. It was the start of what would become a big weekend for Stahl. He singled in the Trojans' half of the first and scored on a single by Jeremy Martinez. Martinez came in on a 2-out single by Blake Lacey, and the Trojans led 2-1 after 1. In the second, Stahl was at it again, doubling to deep center and scoring on an RBI single by Stubbs. In the third, Lacey started a 2-out rally with a single. David Oppenheim walked and A.J. Ramirez singled to left. Lacey came in to score, and it was USC leading 4-1 at the end of 3. By this time, Wheatley was settling in, striking out 4 Cougars. But it was another play by Stahl in the left to end the 4th.
So Wheatley has 2 balls, 1 strike here, looking to get out of the 4th inning. Fastball in there, skied to left field. Stahl's moving, but makes a catch. Nice catch.
Great catch in foul territory.
Washington State would get an unearned run in the 5th to close within 2, but USC broke the game wide open in the 6th. The Trojans loaded the bases with 1 out, bringing up Robinson.
In there,
and he does.
On the left field line. What a hit. Southall's across, Stahl's across. Martinez the third. Great piece of hitting by Timmy Robinson.
Lacey brought home Martinez with a sac fly, then loaded the bases again for Ramirez.
Driven to left field. That'll get down. Robinson scores. Flores on his way. Out of home.
USC scored 4 and ended the 6th with an 8-2 lead. The Trojans added on in the 7th. A bases-loaded walk to Martinez scored Angelo Labruna, and a sac fly by Robinson brought Stahl home for the 4th time, making the score 10-2. That would be it for Wheatley, who went 7 strong innings, giving up just 5 hits while striking out 8. The Cougars would get another run on an error in the 9th, but a strikeout by Brooks Kriske ended the game, and USC had a 10-3 victory in Game 1 of the series. The Trojans and Cougars were back at it Saturday night on the Pac-12 network, and it was a matchup of 2 lefties. The Trojans sent up Kyle Toomey against Washington State's Joe Pistorizi. The Trojans had never beaten the senior Pistorizi in 3 previous starts, so they came into the game with their work cut out for them. Both pitchers started out strong as the game stayed scoreless into the 4th. In the bottom of the inning, Flores got a 2-out single to bring Lacey to the plate.
Went to the playoffs, but it got eliminated. Ball driven into the gap by Blake Lacey. Going to go to the wall. Flores rounds second, now rounds third. He's coming to the plate, and he's going to beat the throw. SC leads 1-0.
Next up was the hero from last week's Vanderbilt game, Alberto Carrillo.
So if you win, they're going to show up, and SC right now is winning. This ball popped up.
Oh, he lost it in outfield. He lost it.
He's got no idea where it is. They were 20 feet from it. Lacey's going to score. Carrillo just rolls into second base. They just completely...
The back-to-back doubles brought home a pair of runs, and the Trojans had the lead, 2-0. But the lead wouldn't last long. The Cougars answered in the top of the fifth, getting 4 singles and a throwing error by Martinez to push across 3 runs of their own. Washington State got a 4th run in the 6th off reliever Tyler Gilbert, and that was all Pistorizi would need. He went the distance, retiring 12 of the last 13 Trojan batters he faced for a 4-2 Cougars victory. Sunday, USC turned to freshman phenom Mitch Hart. Fresh off last week's victory against UCLA at Dodger Stadium, Hart would get his shot to clinch a series win for the Trojans. After a 1-2-3 first, Stahl would lead off with a single, advance to third on a hit-and-run single by Stubbs, and a score on a ground ball by Martinez. USC was up 1-0. It was 3 up, 3 down again for Hart in the second. In the bottom of the inning, Flores led off with a long shot to right.
Got level for the 4-2 victory. Turns on this one. Down the line now. It's just a matter of whether it's fair. Foul ball. A foul home run that ends up out on the pool deck.
The Titanic blast went just foul, but 2 pitches later, Flores took another shot.
National Hitter of the Week and the Pac-12 Player of the Week. He's got robbed to the home run. Now tries one into the gap in right center. And that's out. So he gets his dinger anyway. Number 3 on the season, Dante Flores.
Yeah, 3-1 fastball, does a good job of staying back, looking for his pitch, being selective, gets something he can handle and drops ahead.
It was his 3rd homer of the year, and it put the Trojans ahead 2-0. 2 batters later, right fielder David Oppenheim hit a deep fly of his own.
He's going to wait for his pitch, and he got one there, and he turns on this one to right field, and this one is up and over the boards. SC with 2 home runs in the inning. There are only 2 home runs in the series, 3-0.
Well, like we said, the ball doesn't travel to left very well, but it sure jumps out to right. I didn't see where that ball landed.
2nd home run of the season. He hit one against Cal State Fullerton.
USC was now up 3-0. The way Hart was dealing, a 3-run lead might as well have been 20. He had a no-hitter through 5, and that's when the Trojans' offense extended their lead. With 1 out, Stahl came up with 2 runners in scoring position.
Reggie Smith.
Base hit. Bobby Stahl comes through. That scores Oppenheim. Reggie Southwell stops because he was hit sharply. And Ben Roberts, the left fielder for Washington State, was playing shallow and jumped on it. Messi gets a run, and the lead swells to 4-0. That's just crisp hitting here.
Good job of staying back. Looks like a breaking ball up.
Next up, Stubbs used his speed to put some pressure on the Cougars' defense, and they cracked. Still, with just 1 out, Martinez brought in the 4th run of the inning.
So now it's 6-0, and now it's 7-0 as Jeremy Martinez rolls an RBI single right down the...
4 runs on 4 hits gave the Trojans a commanding 7-0 lead. Hart's no-hit bid ended in the 6th as the Cougars got a 1-out single to left, but a double play ended the inning. Washington State balked home another run to make it 8-0, and the Trojans' offense kept going in the 7th. USC had reached double digits for the 6th time of the season, now leading 10-0. Hart kept cruising, going 3 up and 3 down in both the 7th and the 8th. In the bottom of the 8th, Stubbs finished the scoring with a bang.
And that lineup to get them all going. And
oh, this one's hit deep to right, going back. Wes Allen watches it go over his head and over the wall. Garrett Stubbs, home run. Stubbs is just a triple short of the cycle today.
well, it doesn't matter how hard you throw when you get a fastball up in the zone. It's a lot easier for the hitters to see it. Does a great job of getting his front foot down and turning on that pitch.
There were a few great candidates for this week's Trojan Player of the Week, but the one that stood out the most, both at the plate and on the field, was senior Bobby Stahl.
I felt pretty good. I mean, I wasn't trying to do too much, just going up there doing what I do, one at-bat at a time, and it ended up being a positive week for me, so hopefully it carries into this upcoming week. I mean, I didn't get much time last season due to some injury stuff, but I came out with a mentality just to do what I do. I mean, being the leadoff guy, my job is to get on base, and that kind of sparks our offense, so I was just glad I was able to help our team get the series win. I was just thinking go balls to the wall, and some of the guys were giving me some jokes about saying how I kind of timed it up, stutter step to make the catch. But I mean, that's how I play. It's just down dirty. I mean, I'm glad I was able to make that play and help our pitcher out. My motivation is definitely my mother that passed away. I pray to her before every game, and I just know she's looking out and watching over me, so everything's for her.
This week, the Trojans start off with a midweek match at home against the Fresno State Bulldogs. USC beat Fresno 3-2 in extra innings a few weeks back. We'll see if the Trojans can do it again. After that, USC hits the 101 for a road trip to San Luis Obispo. The Trojans split a pair of games with the Mustangs last year, when they ended up as the #1 seed in the regionals. They've been struggling a bit this year, though, so we'll see if USC can take advantage of that weakness and win a series on the road. Thanks for watching the Trojan Windup. I'm AJ Lawrence, and you can catch us here every week. Fight on!